been a resident of Boise, Idaho for over 800 years. I just don't get why this always happens to me every single time.
Oh, come on, guys. You get it. You get it, right?
Hello, and welcome to yet another Rag Company podcast here on the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. That's right. It's a different channel than our main channel. We keep all that talking stuff here, but that's kind of the fun, and that's why you're in the comments, leaving comments and questions below. We will get to those throughout the show, or I may just throw them up on the screen. Anyway, I'm your host, Dane, and to my right, yes, sir, that's Levi Gates.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. And to my left, none other than Anthony Fisher.
Dane, thanks for having me. Glad to be here, and happy Tuesday to everybody.
Of course, it is Tuesday. Hopefully your Monday didn't treat you too bad, but we're here for today, and then we got Q&A Thursday later on during the week. Housekeeping, guys. What is going on in the world of TRC that we can talk about?
Absolutely, Dane. So we're coming up here on the end of February, and I want to give a big happy birthday to Mr. Levi J. Gates. The master of shine and a resident of the, Idaho, Boise Valley for over 900 years. Insane.
I saw a sticker on a car the other day. Said, Idaho, 6 generations.
Holy smokes.
Pointed it out to Carly, and she goes, "Are you 6 generations deep?" Yeah. And I said, "Let me do the math." And I had to my eyes did that thing in Dune where they just turned white.
Just roll back.
Yeah. And then I said, yes, I think I have 6 generations there.
That's just insane to think about. 6 generations.
If not more, but I'm just saying at the moment, it was a quick calculation.
The Gates family coming from the small hometown roots of Jordan Valley.
Jordan Valley, Oregon. But here's the thing.
Yes.
Jordan Valley, Oregon, on the county line.
Such a crappy
Here's the thing.
It's like
Anthony,
me living in the North
this?
End, even though I don't.
Yeah, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Family settled Jordan Valley, Oregon, built the house on the state line between Oregon and Idaho.
Yeah.
Was it a sales tax thing?
Half the house was in Idaho, half the house in Oregon. So you want to go to the kitchen, you're in Idaho. You want to go sit in the living room, watch TV, you're in Oregon.
I know. It's just
How did the property
Jordan Valley.
developer allow that? Because that means you're dealing with two completely different governments.
Dane, this was right after Idaho became a territory.
Oh, see, that would factor in, yeah.
Really didn't matter. They already owned the land.
Yeah.
And then the line came through, and they were like, "Hey, just so you know, your house is right through."
I just find it funny. The line
just a couple
didn't,
generations
deviate
from the
just
fur
for
trappers that
property.
founded essentially the
much.
state.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy. But
we
Jordan
were-
Valley is just a piece of
man.
crap. I hate Jordan Valley. It sucks there. But you know
Almost
what?
as much as Emmett?
We don't have to.
Jordan Valley is
Emmett,
beautiful
think.
and
No.
smells perfect.
Emmett is the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
So I think literally anything is better than
Yeah.
Emmett.
I still want to go to Jordan Valley because I haven't been there since I was a little kid.
Home of the Mustangs.
And
I have passed through Jordan Valley on my way to other places.
it is
many a
also
time.
Home of the Mustangs,
it is
the high school
also
team.
it is also one of the largest speed traps in North America.
Yes, that's what I do remember about it.
Because you
Every
come
time
up,
I go through there, I drive slow.
Because you go over the hill, you have to crest a hill to get into Jordan
Yeah, because
Valley.
it's like you drop down into a
into a valley, Jordan Valley.
Right.
But you go up the hill, and it's like 65 up the hill, and the moment you get to the top of the hill, as soon as you start to come down, it stops and turns to 25 miles an hour.
They know what they did
you
there. They know exactly
You literally
what they
catch
did there.
air, and then you got to slam on your brakes as you slide down the hill because the cop's sitting right there waiting
He's
for
just
you.
like,
Yep. Pretty
dinner's
fun.
ready.
Fantastic tactic. So we are here at the end of February. Back to the kind of point here. So we have detailing kickoff. I guess technically detailing season starts here within the next few weeks. We're going to have a very lucky holiday here, mid-March. Wink, wink.
Hey.
A very lucky, a mysteriously lucky holiday.
Mysteriously lucky.
Take what you will from that. But we're doing some pretty fun stuff for that event. And then before you know it, it is the one, the only TRCMA that is coming April 1st. Can you believe it?
Yeah, 4th.
It's insane. It's already come up.
I can't believe it because I've been doing all the the notes and the dictations and stuff
A
for it.
lot of stuff has to go on in the background to make the show possible. So
Literally sent a bunch of emails to folks to remind them to book their hotel rooms.
Yeah.
This week's the last week.
A lot of moving
So
parts.
please watch it.
We are extremely excited and happy to have many of our grand ambassadors joining us for this event, including Mr. Alex Dewar, who is here in the comments.
Yes.
Jamie the Cleaner is going to be here. That that one Southern guy, who may have won the Grand Ambassador Showdown. But he's going to be here as well as our other friends like Hunter, right? We're going to have Dabbler Details here. We're also going to have Darren from
Hairy
across the
Housewife.
pond, the Hairy Housewife.
Man.
I think this crew is going to be just an absolute blast. So
yeah.
we're looking forward to that. That is, literally just about a month away, so that's going to be exciting. Now, other things that we are doing here, we are trying to catch up on some video stuff and trying to get more, more updates to kind of things that are being displayed on the website, right? So we have some products that have launched. We need to provide some support, some video support on those. So we're going to start shooting that stuff. But ultimately, it's kind of crunch time now with getting the show in order. But it seems like we're on a somewhat of a decent track to get there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think everything's going really well. Nick started receiving videos from all the different brands, some of the advertisements and things like that have been coming in. Excited to see that. We've reached out this year to Rag Company Europe, Rag Company UK, Rag Company Australia to get some more videos from them this year, just to try and push that more. That this is a worldwide brand that folks can see and know and recognize.
True. Also, as far as media content, we do have a video dropping today.
Yes.
With our kind of behind the scenes / our take on the Tavares detail on the 996 Porsche. So you had to kind of join along with me, Dane, Jimmy, as we kind of filmed that, and then the progress we made, the tools we used, the techniques we used to get that car looking as good as it did.
Well, the best way to look at it is if you look at Tavares' video, it kind of glosses over the detailing aspect. It shows the before and after, and you get a good sense of that. But the idea behind this was to kind of zoom in on that moment in his video and really show you all the details like he mentioned here. But you get to see all the products used, all that stuff.
True. So that video is going to be coming out today, so make sure to head to the Rag Company YouTube channel to check that out. And then we are currently working on the rest of the Obsessed Garage content. So hopefully we're going to have that out. We do know that we did a wash and talk, or I did a wash and talk with Matt, which that'll come out here eventually for his channel. But we're working on a tier list video right now, which I believe is it sounds like it's about a 2-hour long video. So we might have to trim that up a little bit.
It was.
And if you haven't seen the 2 detailers in a drift car video, you can go check that out on his channel as well, as I think that one was a lot of fun.
How was that riding shotgun with Matt as he attempts to drift?
It was
good.
Was
that a good time? Were you a little scared?
I had a blast. I love being in a drift car.
Well, I get that, but I mean, with Matt behind the wheel drifting, he's not exactly known for being a drifting guy, so it's just interesting to see him go for it.
Yeah, I understand.
I didn't think he did a bad job for.
I'm one of those guys in a position like that. I'm happily along for the ride. I'm not nervous. I'm not worried. I'm not anything. Right.
Nice.
If he would have sent that thing into a building or a wall, I would have been fine with it. Like I wouldn't have been scared. So
you heard it here first.
I kind of put all my life into his hands in this small little parking lot. But what's the worst that could have happened, right?
Well,
we would have.
He's the kind of guy you're trusting him not to put it into a wall. So
I think that was fine. But I mean,
he's not the
him
guy
driving and him doing that. I mean, it seemed like he really enjoyed it, and we both had a lot of fun. Eventually, I'd like to try my hand at a drift car experience or something like that. What we should have done is I should have said, "Hey, Matt, I don't want to drift Adam LZ's 350. I don't want to have that. I don't have that kind of relationship with Adam. I don't want to wreck his car. But give me one of those Drift HQ cars, one of those random beater, E30s in the back or whatever it is, and I'll go rip that around the parking lot." But I'd like to try it because I've never actually physically tried drifting before. Like, not the real thing, snow drifting and stuff like that, but not like the real thing. So who knows? Maybe someday. But check that out. You can check it out on Matt's channel. It's a fun one. And I think, without further ado, we can probably jump into our freaking weekends.
I remember doing some drifting.
Did you?
Back in the day when I went to Japan in 2000. Got to see some live drifters just doing it in the streets.
Oh wow!
Just randomly. Through Tokyo in the middle of the night.
The peak.
Just for fun, I mean, because I was a big fan of Initial D back then, and
I believe, don't quote me, but I believe in Tokyo Drift, Neela says all of her problems just
boy.
kind of disappeared. And watching the older kids drift on the mountain was relaxing and things
Not
like that.
stressful at
As
all.
she
And
drifts
not-
her RX-8
and not
up a
stressful.
mountain.
And so what I think is that you experienced some of what
It was
Tokyo
pure.
Drift was
It was,
preaching
It was pure.
at that time.
Yeah. So then I brought that back
Wow.
to the States.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. And
You brought drifting back to the States, is what you did.
no, I brought myself back to the States.
Okay.
And then I started to go, I should get a Toyota Corolla, an A86.
A86, correct.
I should grab.
They're very cheap.
I
right?
should get one of those. They were $500
Definitely not
all
over-
day long.
You got them for 800.
All day long.
Yeah, they're very.
You get a
very
nice one
affordable.
for $1,000.
Yeah.
And then I thought, maybe I bump it up. Maybe get a 240.
That same car
You
is
know,
like 25.
maybe get a
grand.
Nissan 240 SX.
A 240. I
But
mean,
those
those
were
like-
were still in production, so they were a little more money, right? You're like $5,000,
I know.
$4 or
God.
$5,000. You're like,
know.
man, that's just a lot to
I mean,
be
knew those
20
cars,
years old.
Knew those cars were like
But
$12,000.
I think we all,
Yeah, they're
we
like
all kick
$12,000.
ourselves, right, for seeing that car that
Right.
one time in a classified
But-
ad where you're like, ugh,
Yeah.
$2,500 for an
Yeah.
S13.
But I
Could've
was
done it.
this was
Didn't
I was
do it.
20 years old. How old were you, Dane, in 2000?
In 2000, I would have been. Oh, yeah, I would have been 11.
Okay, Anthony,
2000 and what?
year 2000,
You're 2000, I was 10 years
summer
old.
of 2000.
I was 10.
Yeah. So here I am, this 20-year-old kid, fresh with drifting content.
Oh, yeah.
Drifting knowledge. Unable to use any of it. What did I do? Got my 76 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme that I had.
Yeah, I like that.
Also had my 89 Honda Accord Coupe,
Okay.
5-speed,
Yeah. Front-wheel drive car. That's
front-wheel drive car.
Yeah.
But I made it work.
Okay.
Well, you get a couple of McDonald's trays and you park onto that.
We wouldn't do that. Here's what I do. I do a little dirt tracking.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day, Cartwright Road was partially dirt.
Yes, correct.
Makes sense.
So it was all gravel. So
Yeah.
what I would do, take my Honda out there and go pull the e-brake, do some dirt sliding
Yeah.
while I'd be doing that back mountain run.
Yeah.
That was my toge run.
And was
back
there
in the day.
was there kids watching you? And
No, it was me
found-
by myself.
Okay, so it wasn't
Just
like
cows
It
watching,
wasn't like
right?
in Tokyo Drift where
Nope.
she watched the older kids drift
No.
and found it
Probably.
relaxing.
No, I literally started talking to other kids, and you know what they were building?
What?
Honda Accord wagons.
So
And they were doing the early Fast and Furious
Yeah.
style stuff where
Oh, man.
that wasn't a thing. They didn't look at drifting. They just wanted the cars
Yeah.
to look cool
Yeah.
with a lot of chrome on them.
painted a
The early
Honda
2000s
Accord
were very
wagon
much that.
orange.
Yeah.
And you put like a Bomex kit on it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 20-inch wheels, chrome 20s, because
Chrome
they just
20s
came
on
out.
there. Yeah. Ideally,
Sea West, Valeside.
probably one of the
Lucky if
best
you could get
things
some
you could do.
18s at Les Schwab.
Yeah, and you're gonna leave that motor untouched, but you are gonna run orange silicone hoses to match the orange paint job.
Right. You
Yep.
need those.
Yeah.
Outside.
So that
Plus
was the
5
kind of stuff
horsepower.
I got to see and enjoy and go, man, no one's really doing this. And I was telling my dad about it. My dad's like, that's called dirt tracking. We did that all the time back in the day. He's like, let me show you some stuff. So anyway, that was 2000
Yeah,
back in the day.
Silverado.
Yeah, thanks, Silverado. So yes, guys, it was my birthday this weekend, and I had a great weekend. Friday night, started the night off with a little Big Judd's.
Oh, good start.
You do
Picked up
Yeah,
a Big Judd's
all right.
special.
Yeah.
Got me that 1 pound burger,
Oh, my goodness.
pound of fries.
Oh.
Took that home. Kids and I and Carly annihilated it. I mean, straight up ate the whole burger.
Yeah.
So you guys are
Your machine.
splitting. You guys are always splitting this one burger.
One burger.
Do you feel like it's enough?
It is. It's 1 pound. So you cut it in half. There's 2 half-pound burgers. Cut it into fourths. They're each quarter pounders. I cut 1 into eighths for my children.
Yeah.
You know, 1 quarter slice comes eighths. Give those to the kids.
Yeah.
Carly and I each get a quarter.
Yeah.
And then if Hadley wants more, she takes that extra slice.
Yeah.
She'll take another eighth.
Yeah.
And then usually Carly or myself will finish that final
You guys
eighth.
aren't eating there ever.
No, I take it to go. So I call it in.
But that place has a lot of history there.
So that place is popping right now. Also, a lot of history, but it's popping because they just built that new apartment complex.
Right next to it, yeah.
Right next to it?
Brand new, yeah.
There are so many college students in it that when I showed up, there was a line. I'm glad I called in my order, but there was a line for
boy.
people being seated
Oh.
to seat in there, and they didn't have any room.
Okay.
So those people, so what's funny is the kids these days don't realize that shack, what used to be a shack, right,
Well, that is a new building.
is a
but
new building. It used to be
10 years ago was a full on shack with
Literally,
maybe 4
yeah.
tables and chairs.
It was a shack with,
It looked more fit for like somewhere on the bayou than it
Yeah.
did for
do you guys
something
know
in
those?
Boise.
I know this sounds horrible. You know, like those wooden walls, those
Yeah,
wooden
no,
interior
wooden
walls
plywood,
that
you mean
you
like this?
see in mobile homes.
It was like shiplap, but it was done vertically instead of horizontally.
And dark.
It's the traditional mobile home, vertical.
It's called wood paneling.
Yeah.
Wood paneling,
It's 70s
right?
wood paneling
Where,
kind of thing.
where like the meme is like, if you didn't grow up in a house that had this or spent time in a house that had this, right? Then you lived too good of a life growing
Yeah,
up, right?
yeah.
Believe it or not, there were
Humble
nice.
yourself. With
There
the
were
wooden paneling.
very nice houses that also had that wood paneling.
No, Dane, I lived in a trailer. It had wooden
Dane,
paneling.
I'm saying,
Not really.
I grew up in a trailer park.
don't get me up on my architecture.
I
high
know,
horse,
Dane, but you
'cause
grew
I
up in
will-
you grew up in fancy mid-century modern homes your whole life.
But that's what I'm saying is in a certain period in the mid-century, later period, there was vertical wood paneling that was
Yeah,
done.
no. You have to humble yourself with 7-foot ceilings and wood interior paneling on the walls.
You say that like the first house I rented wasn't a split level, and I slept on a couch downstairs. That was like my
Dane,
whole
I think
livelihood.
you
out of
needed to be there a
college,
little
so-
longer.
I had plenty of time to
But yeah,
bake. Don't
so
worry. This is this story.
got the big Judds, delicious, delightful Friday. Start the weekend off. I've also been working on this 58 Chevy, so I'd been sanding, doing some of that stuff on it. And then Saturday, we got up, have breakfast, open my presents. So Friday, I got a gift from my parents. They took me to lunch, got me a backup camera for the trailer.
Yep, needed.
Wireless backup camera.
Yeah.
Very nice setup.
Oh, yeah.
And then Saturday, opened my gifts. Carly and the kids got me 3 Funko Pops.
Of.
Goodfellas.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
So I got
Yeah.
Henry, Tommy, and Jimmy on there. So pretty stoked to get those. And then I got those, and then it's just some other neat little things that they got me. I was very excited for it, and it was fun to just hang out, chill out. We kind of just relax for the morning, and then got dressed, got ready, went to Pojo's. Pojo's Arcade,
That's
ladies
the
and
main
gentlemen.
event right there.
Carly had asked me, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to go to Pojo's." And Pojo's was originally a nickel arcade.
Yeah.
Was founded 50 years ago here in the Boise Valley.
It is not new.
Family Fun Center.
It is. I mean, they couldn't give that place away about 15 years ago, and now
I would buy it.
It's kind of a resurgence.
It's kind of a
Well,
resurgence.
so here's the reason. I started looking at it. I started thinking about it. Like when we went to Wahoo's, they all the machines are running these cards now.
Yeah.
So you scan the card, and the games are like $5.
Yeah, stuff ain't
Play a
cheap.
game. So you're like, what the heck?
The card,
and then
the card kind of disguises how much you're really paying
Yes.
for everything.
And then the card puts your ticket count on the card.
right.
Yeah.
So then you go, oh, God.
There's no physical media. There's no physical.
You don't have to lug around a
physical
giant
currency.
roll of
Yeah.
tickets anymore.
So we walk in, right? Yeah. So that's the cool thing about Pojo's. It's coins.
I love that.
So it's tokens.
old school.
Old school gold coins.
Yeah, well, they're silver.
Okay,
But
whatever.
we walk in, get in line.
Yeah.
Again, line out the door. It's
Yeah.
just nice line, packed place. We walk in, get in line. Carly and I are sitting there, and Carly's like, I got this. I said, oh. She's like, I got it. Don't worry. It's your birthday. She drops $100. $100 bill on the table.
Was it crisp? Was it a crisp hundo?
I didn't
Wow.
get to see.
You
But
didn't get to see how crisp it was. Okay, gotcha. But that's
Yeah.
fine.
here's the thing. They slide her a gallon-sized bag
Oh,
full of tokens.
that's where it's at.
25-cent value each token,
Yeah.
right? So she started laughing, turns around, tosses it to me. I get it. I'm like, oh, this is a lot.
This is
Like,
our bucket for the
you
night.
feel that sack of coins, and we had some other, but we'd all brought little bags.
You know what we need? We need, speaking of which, you know how we like fine leather goods? We need fine leather token pouches, right?
Oh, great
With
idea.
the cinch
The
on
cinch
it, right?
bags.
So when we throw it to somebody, like we're pirates, right?
Yeah, you
and
feel
you
it.
catch it, you go, oh, that is,
That's nice.
That is a high perceived value, right? Look into it.
I like that.
I'll go
Let's
in
do
on
that.
some with
That's
you.
right. I brought on almost stuff.
So we, so had that. Carly opens up her fanny pack. Augie opens up his. Hadley opens up hers, and I'm just handfulling coins.
Yeah.
Right? Just loading the family up. And I take the sack and I slide it in my pouch
like a kangaroo out
on
here.
my hoodie. Yeah.
That's
And I'm
a
like,
fun,
this is going to
fun
be
day.
a blast.
Oh, man.
And so we literally just start unloading these coins in the machines.
You're playing. You're having
We're just
fun.
having fun, right? We're all enjoying it. Augie burns through his first pile fast.
Yeah.
Like way too fast to the point where like, whoa, dude, he comes back like 5 minutes later. Like, I'm done. I'm like, dude, I gave you like $30 in coins. And he's like, yeah, I'm already done. Yeah. But he had a backpack. He kept saying, I'm bringing a backpack. I'm bringing a backpack. I'm bringing a backpack. And Carly goes, no, we're not. You're not bringing a backpack. You don't need it. And he goes, no, I need it. I am glad he wore that backpack because he came back and he's like, he goes, yeah, I'm already out of coins. But check out the backpack. Full of tickets. Filled to the brim.
So he converted those
stuffed.
coins into tickets pretty well. All right.
Pretty quick. So Carly and I start doing our stuff. We're just hitting jackpots left and right. We're like, this is insane. So we're just unloading tickets now. So the whole day, we spent maybe an hour and a half there. It was awesome. The whole family, $100 spent. We procured 4,090 tickets.
That's enough to buy Pojos.
You could purchase Pojos for that amount of money. Yes. However,
I wonder if they have
not
a
enough
contingency
money,
plan in place.
not enough money to buy the CRT television or tractor trailer set.
So what were those going for? 10,000?
That was about 10,000 tickets. Yeah, 6,000 I think for the tractor trailer
It's a bit heavy.
that you could pedal.
That
but-
was a full semi setup. You can pedal.
No, it's just like an actual tractor.
Oh,
like for
okay.
the farm. Dane.
See,
Like,
when
it's
somebody says
something-
tractor trailer, I think 18-wheeler. I think
it's
big
a
trucks.
child's toy
Yeah.
that you could ride on. But Dana, you could use it for your
I
yard.
was imagining a semi-truck pedal
it's something,
car. Is what
but
I was imagining.
It is. It's a pedal car, but it's a tractor.
Right.
So you could sit
the
on
literal tractor.
it. Yeah, but with a wagon on the back.
Yeah.
So that you could use it, Dane.
Yeah.
You could ride around your yard, do some yard work. You could put some pots, maybe some plants and stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
you want to do a little planting, or you put Callie in the back.
See, now
You
that's
ride
fun.
around on your
I like
property.
That. That's cool.
Right?
That's
and
a good time.
you got your steering wheel and your pedals.
Yeah.
And you go around. You're
Sounds
like, Callie,
great.
Let's go over this way. Now, probably don't want to ride it down your hill because that would be terrifying. You'd probably crash. But
oh no.
Point is, had a great time cashing in the tokens or all the tickets. Told the kids they get 2,045 each. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of stuff that they got when they finished, so that was great. It took them a while to cash out, and then Crown Royal bags. That's how my uncles would do it too.
Yeah.
But we finished there, went to Target, did a little Target shopping, just wandering around, taking a look at stuff, got some
You
things.
treated it like another amusement park.
Exactly.
Okay,
Also, one of
cool.
those things like, what should we do? Before we hit the Pojos, though, went to lunch, little Del Taco action.
Oh.
Some quesadillas.
I always forget that place
the
exists.
Last place I would probably
So
ever
here's
go
why we go.
is Del Taco.
It's the only thing my
Before
kids
taco
will
time,
eat.
huh? Yeah.
It's literally the only thing they'll eat.
I've gotten food poisoning 5 times in my life.
So I
Three
ate
of those
it.
times were at Del
So
Taco.
fun fact, I ate at Del Taco the night Carly went into labor.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I was hunting for another toilet that wasn't in the labor and delivery room.
Yeah, no.
So you're saying your kids love Del Taco?
that place?
Okay.
They do. I'm not as big of a fan.
How did
but
they
it's
come to
okay.
love this place so much?
So it's literally, Dane, as a parent, you start trying to find stuff that your kids will eat.
Okay.
So you're like, well, try Del Taco. They got chicken cheddar quesadillas,
Okay.
right? Make a little quesadilla.
I mean,
Hey.
there's other places that have quesadillas too, but you're saying they didn't like those other ones. They wanted these ones.
Correct. Yeah. Huh. It's a weird thing that only other parents will understand.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
your child will not eat a certain type of chicken nugget,
Hyper specific.
it has to be a certain brand, and you're like, what the heck? It's the same thing. Or now they get to a point where they're like, that pizza's not that great. I like this pizza. You're like, I don't want to buy that pizza every time.
They either have a super refined palate or they're just being jerks.
I agreed. Yeah, like Anthony's. You said your daughter eats everything. She's got she's like you, hearty palate.
She does have a hearty palate, yes.
If you have a second one,
Last night
that
she was
one-
eating pho last night.
Perfect. Ooh,
My
yeah.
daughter is eating pho. She's 2 years old.
Yeah, that's great.
2 years old. What kind of... I go, what? Who
Wow.
are you?
How bougie are you?
And I go, you are my Portuguese, my I don't know which Portuguese she is, but she's my Portuguese daughter. I mean, I'm very proud as a father.
It's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Now the second child you procure may not have that same ability to eat everything,
yeah.
and that will frustrate you.
Or they may not eat.
Or they
right?
may not eat.
You know,
period.
That's
But the point is, you'll go
My way, the highway.
You'll go. Let's go to Wendy's, or let's stop at Jack in the Box, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't want to eat there." And you're like,
okay, what do you want?
Yeah. So anyway, So we hit up Del Taco because the children eat it. We did Pojo's. Then we went to Target. Then we came home. I went outside, sanded a couple spots, sliced out some drips on the paint.
You were showing that car. It was looking
Working on that.
nice.
Working on that 58. Then got the kids ready to go to Grandma's.
Yep.
Headed over to my mom's. Dropped them off. Carly and I ended up heading over to the Melting Pot for dinner. Had a delicious fondue. Just some cheese. Some bread.
So we have some people coming in for TRC, right?
Yeah.
And they might be looking for a place to eat, maybe on a night that they have to themselves, right? Would you recommend the Melting Pot to somebody that is not a Boise resident or somebody from...
No, because Melting Pot is a national chain.
It is a national chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do it.
Dane had a gut reaction there. Like, he literally could not... He wiggled when I asked that. Is it because you hate the chain so much?
No, it actually had nothing to do with the fact that it was a chain. Rare instance where that was, because it's kind of a quote-unquote fancier, bougier place. No, I recoil because I remember when I went there, like, back in high school for a prom thing, because I thought that was the cool thing to do. Didn't really know any better. And
you got taken for a ride.
spent way too much money there.
Yeah.
Like, didn't even, like, that
You
was...
shuddered when I said Melting Pot.
And I'm not one of these kids who had an allowance.
It was like
I
a
worked
pea
a
shovel.
job to earn my money in high school,
Yeah.
so like that was all gone.
Yeah, it was all gone.
Well, there it goes.
Yeah, so Carly and I had gone through the menu. We'd done some reconnaissance and saw the pricing.
Yeah.
And we went in.
It's always been high, but
Said, we're just getting the fondue and the charcuterie board. And that's all we need
yeah.
to be happy.
Now, what kind of bread are they giving you? Sourdough?
They give you some sourdough. They give you some pretzel bread.
Okay, pretzel bread.
That's fun.
It was great. It was delightful. So we ate quick and easy.
I got nothing bad to say about
No
the food.
problem.
The food was good.
And then I said, man, I need a coffee to top this off. And Carly
Okay.
goes, have I got a coffee for you? And I said, oh. And she goes, let's go check it out. We over to Latah Street, across from the graveyard. Right?
Okay, good spot.
Well, that's where you want to spend your birthday, right? Across from the graveyard.
Ideally.
It just, it
So-
reminds you one
Right.
step closer, that
So we
whole
roll
thing.
up to Primal Coffee.
Oh, Primal, okay.
Holy crap. Holy crap. That was some of the best coffee I have ever had in my entire life.
Crazy. You've been to
right.
like Italy and Germany, and you've been to like
Yeah,
countries
right?
around the world.
Primal
I
Coffee
wouldn't say the UK
on
should be proud of
Latah
their
in
coffee,
Boise,
'cause
They're tea
across
people.
the street
Yeah,
from
they're
the
tea people.
cemetery.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I'm not saying there's a connection between that
No,
and the
they're-
cemeteries.
no, they're
Coffee's good enough to
definitely-
die for. Tell you
That
what.
explains the missing bodies.
No, he's
in the last few
he's
years.
trying to figure out where they're getting their beans from.
So they fire roast their beans. It's all about the beans. So
There's a crematorium two buildings down. You're kind of like, huh?
hey, who knows? Who knows? Point is, Dane, they got a little
Primal do not sue us.
Dane, they got a little Datsun pickup out front.
Oh,
Says
right.
not powered by Dutch Brothers.
Okay.
It's got a little license plate.
So you're
tail
saying the
dragger.
energy of the folks who work there is like much more mellow, cool,
Much more mellow,
chill.
super cool.
They don't feel
great
like they're going
vibes.
to leap into your car and ask
Tiny,
you to
tiny
take
place.
them with you.
Tiny place, traditional coffee shop style.
Okay.
Very cool. Anyway, had a breve there.
It's not Death Wish coffee. However,
Couldn't
that is
believe
funny.
how good that place was. But I just I was drinking it on the way home, going like, holy crap, this is really good. And Carly's like, I know. It's amazing. One of her friends at work had gotten it for her, and she was like, this is insane. It's really good. So then when I said I want a coffee, she's like, let's go up there.
Yeah.
To the point that I literally wanted to stop there yesterday. I thought about it yesterday.
It gotcha. You
Trying
got
to
bit
drive
by
up
the
there.
bug.
I was trying to figure it out in my head. Can I get to work
Okay.
and stop and get coffee
Okay,
there?
I might have to try
Too
this
far.
place. I'm not really that big of a I don't care that
It
much.
was good. It was really good.
But I mean,
Mocha
I'd
mousse.
maybe want to try that. Okay, so that's
So-
pretty cool. So then what do you do on Sunday?
So then, so that was Saturday night. Then we just went home and hung out and watched some TV, enjoyed.
Each other's company.
Yeah, we started Napoleon. The kids watched Twister Friday night.
Oh,
Got them to watch that.
is this
the original.
because there's that trailer for the new one?
No,
coming and
Dane.
they're interested.
So my children are getting. They're wanting to move into the next step of growing up.
Oh,
Right. So
and that includes watching Twister. Because I will say, I'm a big fan of that movie. I enjoy that movie a lot.
Yeah.
Something about it just keeps you going back, and it's a comfort watch.
So Carly and I, because we're kind of movie nerds, said. So the movies you want to watch are a little more adult themed, a little more
Sure.
scary. a little more thrilling. We don't know how you're going to react.
Right.
So then you have to build kind of a step ladder
Yeah.
to what can you handle.
Because they get, or at least Augie gets spooked by stuff.
Augie still gets spooked.
Pretty good. It like
Hadley
sticks with
gets
him after
yeah,
watching.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
So it's just things that you got to think about and be
Yeah.
cognizant of as a parent. So we had laid down the law early on last year saying, if you want to watch this movie that all your friends are watching, you have to watch Twister first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second movie you have to watch is Jaws.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That you know how my
Original Jaws.
brother
Original
is,
Jaws.
is the way he is. Jaws had a singular effect on his entire
Correct. Yep.
outlook on life, personality, all that.
100%.
Because my dad was excited to show us this new thing called a DVD player. And my brother watched Jaws through a crocheted blanket. The holes were so big, it didn't block the movie at all. And he was terrified.
Right.
And he decided from that day on to learn everything about sharks.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, but that's the point. So we wanted them to learn because Twister, American classic, has tense situations, but there's no monster. The monster is just Mother Nature,
Yeah.
right? The first scene is very terrifying
Oh,
because
yeah,
the dad
right off the bat.
dad dies, right? So it's like a roller coaster we're going to take the kids on. They loved it. Augie said, I didn't like the first part,
Yep.
but I loved every second of that movie. There's not really a villain per se. There's a bad guy, Carrie Elweaves. He's just kind of a jerk.
He's just kind of a guy who gets in the way.
Right. But we need to get that kind of,
Yeah.
you look at those bases and you establish them.
Yeah.
See how they do. Augie was like, that was great. Hadley goes, that was good. So next movie would be Jaws. Because we're adding more tense situations.
Yes.
There's an actual monster, so to speak.
Yep.
And
there's a little bit of gore because
there's a little
it's
bit of gore.
made in 75. The rules were a little different on what a PG movie was back
Right.
then.
So sorry, guys, for all the coughing and stuff. It's just I'm still trying to get this voice back. So those are how we're doing that because the movie they want to watch,
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
No.
Right?
No.
So if we're gonna, I'm not gonna
thinks
let
he wants
right,
to watch it.
Exactly.
He does not want to watch
Right.
that.
It's what all his friends are watching.
Of course.
So it's building the children and going, no, you're going to learn true cinema arts before we go into that. I'm not going to put you right into that because it's not going to expand your brain and we're not going to build upon those.
Maybe you could turn it into a
bases
learning
that we
experience
created.
where you show them like some classic horror cinema.
That's kind of what
build
Carly
up
and I are
you
talking
show them like
about.
a
We're trying to get to
Nosferatu kind of thing.
We're trying to get there.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You have a very different approach. So my Portuguese father, right? He
He
didn't
just
really
skipped right ahead.
He didn't really know what good movies actually were, right? And so he had an amazing sound system, obviously, an amazing theater system. So he just made me watch what he wanted to watch, right? So
Okay.
I think I was like 10 years old. I was watching weird movies like American Werewolf in Paris, and and I was watching Practical Magic, and I was watching some other very strange movies around that time. But he didn't really
What is
care
this
for
Cruel
scary
Intentions?
movies. He did watch Cruel Intentions.
See, I knew it.
I did watch that, but my favorite was his infatuation with the first American Pie, right? Because he liked that movie. He thought it was hilarious, right? So I got a lot of screen time with that.
How old were you when you watched
The movie
that?
came out when you were 8.
I was
Yeah.
8 or 9, right?
Yeah, I saw
And
it in the
so-
theater as an 18-year-old going,
Yeah.
get to see a rated R movie. This would be awesome.
Yeah. So,
boy.
as a 10-year-old boy, seeing that movie,
no.
right? There's parts I definitely look forward to.
Formative
And I would
years.
ask, can I watch that movie again? He's like, why do you want to keep watching that movie? I
Right.
said, no reason, right?
It's fun.
It's funny. I think it's funny.
It's
Did
like
I
definitely
understand
the comedy.
jokes? Yeah, absolutely not. But I watched what he wanted me to watch, right, or what he wanted to watch, and I kind of had to sit there and suffer through that from time to time. However, he did have a lot of weird tastes in other movies, like the Zorro, right, the Mask of Zorro.
You're calling that was such a mainstream popular movie. You're going to call that weird taste?
No, so I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
that was very popular.
It was very popular.
was
at that
I saw it
very
in the theater
popular.
a couple times. That was
No,
a good
but
one.
he liked watching.
Banderas, Hopkins.
Well, no,
Zeta
correct.
Jones,
Yeah, but
all
he
that
watched.
good
But he
stuff.
watched it. He watched it with in I think it was in Spanish or whatever it was, like
yeah.
the Spanish.
That makes it even more exciting.
The dub, whatever it had over the top. No, he had a lot of very early 2000s taste in that, but
Yeah.
very relevant at that time. And I watched everything because he would go to the DVD store, and he'd buy everything new. He'd go there, hey, what's the
Yeah,
new
that's
movie?
what my
So
brother-in-law
he wouldn't
does.
rent. He would just buy.
He'd buy
No,
all
that's
of
what
them.
my brother-in-law
yeah.
does. He just buys the movies. He doesn't even watch them yet. He just buys, and I go, "What are you doing? You can rent them first." And he's like, "I like having them."
Yeah,
You
so
guys
he
want to
bought-
watch half a movie? Proceeds to buy the movie.
But a lot of weird movies. But anyways, so going back, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It just
No.
Your take on this is very different than how I grew up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And me growing up on my mom's side of the family in a very Christian household, right?
Yeah.
I grew up watching family feature films. Were actually Mormon films, is what they were. I didn't know they were Mormon films.
Yeah.
My mom did not know she was
Wasn't there
Mormon.
a
Yeah, they were
certain
just family.
clean
They're clean
films or
films.
whatever?
They're just
Yeah.
nice.
They literally
heartwarming.
cut out all the parts that might be construed as being a little too spicy.
No.
This was a
They're
film-
not edited. These are made movies.
These
Oh
are
no! What I'm
made
talking about was a
movies.
service that literally edited
Yeah.
films,
Yeah.
and
They
you
were
would get them, and it's like
this was a Utah-based
Yep.
film company.
I'm
production
also
company.
speaking
They made a lot of
Utah-based
those.
production company.
Family feature films, and my mom was happy with me watching that and or Disney films, right?
Right.
But I would go to my dad's house,
He'd let you watch whatever.
and
Yeah.
he would just throw in whatever. But thank God for him though, right? Because right when that Fast and Furious movie came out, not only did I get to go see it in theaters the moment it came out, right? But bam, bought that thing on DVD.
Yeah.
And that's how I became the person I am today.
I love that. That's a great thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Now,
So basically, that was the biggest thing for us was to get that going at least.
Yeah.
They did great. Carly and I were super proud that they had checked that off their list. Then Sunday was just another chill day, but I worked on that car. I spent the majority of the day, even though the weather was beautiful out, working on sanding, polishing, trying to get more stuff done. So this 58 Chevy I've been working on that you guys were probably been hearing about, I posted my stories today. This is a custom painted 58 Chevy. The whole car was blocked with 3000 grit. I've been touching up all the fine spots around the trim, some of the little cowls, leading and trailing edges of certain windshield panes. And so I've been trying to get all the fine, heavy detail stuff done.
Yeah.
And then that way I can get it all cut and polished. So I got the majority of that done. I had a fender that kept shrinking on me. And so it would shrink and you'd get a whipple in it. And so I had to put a space heater and a heat gun and try and warm that panel back up so that the clear wouldn't shrink or die back. I noticed it last night when we were finishing up that there's some dieback on the door, the driver's door on the lower. And so I'm like, dang it. So tonight I'm going to have to try and see if I can heat that or
how
sand
do you
it.
even avoid that?
So the problem is this car has been in a booth, but it's been painted in the winter. And so there's no time to let it sit in the sun and bake. And there's no oven in the paint booth to let it bake. So normally the process is you clear a car, you crank up the heat, you let it bake for a few hours at a certain temperature. And that helps set everything, so to speak. It also
IR
hardens
lamps
it.
help at all?
So IR lamps would help. I don't have one.
Okay.
So I've just been using a heat gun to warm that panel and my garage is 66. So when it came in, it was cold. It was like 33 that day when it got dropped off. Got into my garage. I had to let it sit for a couple of days to just acclimate before I could really start sanding on it, because when that clear, that fresh, it actually breathes with the temperature. So it moves back and forth. It's very weird when you get into it. But so anyway, got to be able to work on that a bit. And then last night, Matt and I got to actually throw down on it, do some heavy polishing or cutting and polishing on it. And it's coming out beautiful. So that was really good. But Sunday night, sorry, I jumped ahead. Sunday night, we went to my sister-in-law's. Carly made a cake for me. We call it an Ernie's cake. It's
cake.
basically cake and a pudding type frosting. It's really good. So we had that, and then Carly's sister made a cake, and so we went over to her house because it was my niece's birthday today, and so we kind of share a birthday. So we had a little birthday party Sunday night. Got me a $30 gift card to Home Depot from my in-laws.
Oh, nice.
And my mother-in-law got me a $25 gift card to Happiest Place on Earth, Cracker Barrel.
There it is.
Nice. That's actually technically Cracker Barrel might be happier than Disneyland.
Pretty nice. So
I say Disneyland, $25 won't get you much.
all in all, a killer
churros.
birthday. Probably the most fun I've had for a birthday yet this year.
Yeah.
And so it was really nice. Able to ring in 44 with some style.
That's good.
So very excited about that. And, that was it. It's a pretty simple weekend.
that's great.
So Go ahead, gentlemen.
All right. Well, no, that was a lovely little detour there, and I know all these guys are just like lost talking about movies now,
Dane,
Roadhouse remakes, and
what
all that
about
good
you
stuff.
this weekend?
My
What did you do?
weekend though, but well, I'm gonna keep it simple. I focused on getting the Jag ready for sale. So number one thing I did was during the week last week, I talked to our guy Lucas. You may have seen him on the Q&A recently here. Few details on the side, and I just, I was curious, like, okay, let's see what kind of job you do, because I've had Sydney work on stuff before, and you guys have worked on stuff before, and it's just been one of those things where I'm like, okay, let's see how Lucas does. So he does customer service, just in case you've ever spoken to him before. Great guy. But so I hired him to come and detail the Jag, because when the Jag had been delivered prior to us going on our trip, it was delivered in the middle of the night while it was raining, so the whole car got covered in like dirty rain spots, all that. But
it got delivered from the. Did it come in closed or was it open?
No, it was open trailer.
It was an open trailer
Yeah.
from Salt Lake, so
Yeah.
5-hour drive,
5-hour drive and early evening.
possibly some rain.
Oh, definitely some rain. It was raining when I picked it up, and it probably had been for much of the journey. But it was literally that Tuesday night before we left on our trip on a Wednesday. So it was like right on the verge. But anyway, so the thing got rained on, which meant it was covered in spots and all that stuff because it had been cleaned for the photos that the shop took for me to show, like, here's what we did, make sure everything looks okay, and it looked great. But anyway, it's been sitting in my garage for a few weeks, just covered in dust and dirt and that kind of thing, but I didn't want to touch it because, with the freshly, painted new front bumper, all that stuff, I just wanted to leave that. And it may actually, I'd have to go back, look through the paperwork. It may not have been painted because they PPF'd over everything. It may have already been that color and they just got it out of like stock supply for the car. Yeah. So that's possible too, because I didn't notice any weirdness with the paint. I would have thought like, it needed time, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Got the car in.
Not your problem.
Not my problem, but at the same time, I want to ensure like everything is good, A-okay. So, got the car set up in the driveway for Lucas to show up. He was running a little late on another job, but he did come by on Saturday morning, and he took a look at the car, and he had a buddy with him. I didn't know he was going to have a buddy with him, but I guess I helped him kind of move things along faster, so they kind of teamworked it, where one was like working on tires, where another was working on trim, and, just kind of mixed it up. But he did a rinseless wash, went all through it, got rid of all the spots because I wasn't sure, like, it didn't have any time to bake in. It sat in the garage, so it didn't have to worry about that. Because that was my main concern. It's like, I don't want this stuff to embed. But it was all right. Car came out looking great. I think he used Swift on the interior. Everything looked pretty good. The only spot where I kind of talked to him, like, okay, just for future reference, it was gloss black plastic is like the worst invention ever when it comes to car interiors. There's just a little bit in there, and it's only on the door card where like the seat controls are. But I think Swift, I'm not sure if you guys can confirm this for me. Does it kind of streak a little bit if left to its own devices? If you're...
It's on a smooth surface.
Yeah,
right?
like a perfectly smooth surface with no texture.
Some of the I guess how we call it, maybe the moisturing aspect, the darkening aspect may cause a little bit of streaking on like gloss black or gloss
or just if you leave it and you don't
it's a dressing. Right. I mean it's going to do that.
Yeah, and that was kind of my assumption. I just told him in the future you don't have to worry about that. You could just like clean that with like O&R or something, or I'll do that, and that's the kind of thing just for anybody. But otherwise, I would say he was in there with like Q-tips and stuff. So like good on those guys. They were really kicking butt, and I wanted to give them a big shout because they did a great job. So if anybody's looking and needs
Diamond Detailing.
Yeah, hook up with Diamond Detailing. Those guys are doing a good job. So
for them, yeah.
And very reasonably priced, but at the same time, very thorough. So shout out Luke. Or Lucas, rather. I don't know which he prefers being called. But
Lucas.
Yeah, so Lucas it is. But anyway, that was Saturday. And then on Sunday, typical Costco run, nothing crazy. Got some exercise in, did the Costco run with Liz. And as always, you should never go in to do a big grocery run at Costco
when you're
on
hungry.
an empty stomach.
Yeah.
So we ate first because it would have been a bad idea to go in there. Still cost way too much money. Still managed to spend a lot more than I wanted to. But at the same time,
did you get that freezer?
I should have. for the cost of
That's
things
an
these days.
amazing
Woof.
freezer.
Yeah,
You need to get
no,
a freezer,
that was,
Dane. It'd be the best purchase of your life.
Oh man,
Very
promise
happy
you.
with
I know. I
mine.
always see his freezer in his garage, and it's like that does look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you got the like chest, like the horizontal one, he's got the vertical one.
Yeah.
I'm like, they both
Mine's,
look like
mine's vertical. It's frost free.
What I like about mine is that it acts as a tabletop.
right.
like a workbench.
Yeah, it would be pretty nice.
It is
I still do
workbench.
put snow on top of mine, but I just like that frost free.
So like last night, I could put my drink and a polisher on it.
Oh man,
And some towels.
That is
And then I
convenient.
can keep working, and maybe I open it up, pull out an ice cream sandwich, enjoy it while I'm looking
Yeah.
at a break. You know, so.
No, I could see it. So yeah, no, basically it was that. Still spent, more than a few $100. Don't like doing that, but at the same time, it's Costco, so you're going to be there for a while. You're going to have a lot of stuff. Now I don't have to do it again for a while. Anyway, got that knocked out of the way. Did some videos, some prep work for listings for the car. It's all the normal stuff you go through. But what I did notice that was kind of interesting, because historically the cars I've sold have been a lot cheaper, honestly. Like, we're talking 20 grand or less. It seems to attract a different crowd.
That's not
for
true,
sure.
Dane. You sold a $100,000 truck, or you tried
You
to
did sell a $100,000.
That's
tried to
right.
sell a $100,000 truck.
It did not go for that.
You also
much.
tried to sell another Jaguar, which was well over $20,000.
It was 23.
You sold it for 23.
I sold it for 22. I was asking 24, so it was pretty reasonable. Also, for the record, I bought that thing for 23, so I hardly lost on it.
I mean, you did put like 10 grand worth of maintenance parts into it, but that's besides-
Modifications and stuff, but that was stuff I wanted to do. That was mostly stuff I wanted to do. But yeah, anyway, apart from that, I'm
So,
just
but you're
saying,
noticing
yeah.
it's going to bring it's a different crowd.
Well,
not a lot
frankly,
of tire kickers.
It's a lot quieter, because when you're listing a car that's like 20 grand, okay, you may not get a ton of hits, because the Facebook Marketplace crowd, where it gets real, like beehive crazy, is right around that 10K marker below. People go nuts. You have to deal with the constant influx of, is this available? When they know full well, which is why you end up with all these postings that people put out there of, I'm not going to respond to, is this available? Because it's just like a robotic response. I respond to the people just on the off chance it is a serious person and they don't know any better.
Yeah.
So I give them a chance, but usually it's pretty frustrating. This time, no activity.
Wow,
It's
just quiet day for
all
you.
quiet, because I don't think anybody's messing around once you go above a certain threshold.
Well,
so,
I think the big
and
thing
that's Facebook
is,
Marketplace.
I think a lot of people are wanting to do the same thing that you're wanting to do, is that some people aren't wanting to spend a ton of money on a car right now. It's a weird market. Interest rates are super
yeah. Well,
high.
prices are
rates are
dropping
not
too.
great.
Prices are having to drop for a lot of
Yeah.
different things, because people aren't able to sell. It's not 2022.
No, 2021, 22 were
22
crazy for
anymore, where
prices.
people were just throwing money as much things as they
Oh, yeah.
could. Right now,
Crazy.
it's kind of like, well, because even in 2022, the interest rates were not horrible,
They were
but
okay.
they were okay. It was still okay to do it. Now it's like
2023 was the rough year when everything was just
yeah, right now in 2024, it's still like it's
Yeah.
it's a lot of money and interest. Anyways, continue, Dane.
like super auto here. Dane, you can sell this check for under 20K as well. No, I cannot.
You could, yeah.
I could, but it would be a terrible decision. Also, I've done all the math. I've done all the metrics. I figured all that stuff out. AutoTrader and all these different sites have different, estimates they can give you of what they think would be an optimal price to sell at. And I'm right around the area that they're saying would sell. So I'm comfortable with the price I'm at. I say $49,900. That's just the price for that. And it's not unreasonable when you look at what else is out there.
Yeah.
Because it's very low miles. So anyway, I'm not going to turn this into a car ad. But basically, that's what I did this weekend. Set all that stuff up. And not to sell it short, I had wonderful help from Anthony here, who gave me 15 minutes of his time to go take some lovely pictures, which I then photoshopped the backgrounds out of. But no, it turned out pretty good. Very happy with it. And then I had Jimmy take more pictures over in Eagle Island, where it's a little more aesthetic. And that was a good setup. So anyway, I'm very happy with how that turned out. But that's essentially what my weekend was just focusing on the job at hand. So anyway, enough of
Congratulations.
that. Let's look at
Yeah,
this
you
guy.
could call Buck over at Fairly Reliable Bob's and see if they'll buy that for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got an instant cash offer from CarMax that was like right around 40, but that's really low. So, I mean, worst comes to worst.
Worst comes to worst, yeah. Or you can pay them to take your car from you.
Yeah.
No.
Not
Try
again.
that
No.
again.
I own this car outright. It's not going anywhere unless it's through an actual buyer.
Good
All
deal.
right. What do you got?
Anyways, so my weekend started off Friday night. I ended up watching my daughter. My wife's been knocking a bunch of work over at our rental house, getting it ready for the next renters that are moving in. Basically, we had these renters in there for 2.5 years. They're incredible, amazing. They were literally
You said they took better care of your house than you did.
Correct. I think that if we were living in that house, it would have ended up worse than these people did. So they took really good care of it. And so we went over there, whatever it was. I went over there a week and a half ago. I was really impressed with how it looked. But my wife still wanted to get some more touch-up and cleaning done and whatnot.
Yeah.
So she went over there Friday night. She's been just an absolute rock star. I'm really proud of her. She's taken charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's basically been doing mostly everything herself. I did ask her, do you want my help? But to be honest, we both know that me and her don't work very well together. We're not good workers together, if that makes sense. We can do a lot of great things together, but working alongside each other, not our thing.
Different approaches.
I think, yes, I am meticulous, and I am
You take too long in certain things.
And I'm very detail-oriented, and I'm very
That's code for takes a long time.
I am very, well, because I have to do it right.
No, I'm saying this because I also
she is the hey, it's good enough type of person, right? And she goes, let's move on. We can knock out more stuff at good enough than less stuff at perfection, right? And because of that, me and her we don't work too well together. So I just let her do her own thing. I say, you do this, and I'm gonna be the stay-at-home dad. So Friday night was just kind of a hangout night. Didn't do a whole lot. I think I took my daughter to the park, and then after that, we watched some Drive to Survive, F1 Drive to Survive. I like
binge the whole thing, by the
new
way.
season.
Yes.
I'm having a good time with it. I think that the pacing on this season's pretty good.
Me and my dad go way back.
Yeah, that was a funny line there. Saturday, woke up and I had to get some stuff done around the garage. So I got my Quick Jacks.
Yeah.
I did my whole
Thanks to your friends at BenPack.
Thanks to my friends at BenPack and Quick Jack for sending those out. I got my Quick Jack set up. Did some work in the garage with those, getting everything set up. So that last Saturday, I said, well, let's actually put them to use. So I'm going to do a brake job, right? I'm going to change up my front pads and rotors. So I spent a good amount of time doing that, getting all that done, and found out my passenger side pads were wearing kind of unevenly. I think I need to re-bleed my system and do more work, but just using the Quick Jacks, life-changing, game-changing. Never knew how nice that would be when actually working on a car. I'm able to sit in a Viper chair, roll up to my rotor, and just work, right? Not on my hands and knees, no headlamps, no nothing. I got plenty of light, plenty of room, so that was pretty game-changing. So changed my brakes on my car, got all that done, and then eventually Dane came by, shot some photos with him, and that was pretty much it. Then my
Quick Jack looked really cool when you were running it.
Yeah, and then my wife went out with one of her friends for her friend's birthday, so then they went out again, so I was on dad duty again for the night, and I think for the most part, just around the house, I just kind of hung out, cleaned up some stuff. My backyard is the worst it's ever looked. This is
the worst time because we had so much
dreary.
frozen. And then this weekend we had a really hot weekend.
It's been mild multiple
where
times.
everything
since
kind
then.
of thawed.
Yeah. So the
thawed
lawn
too
thinks
fast.
it's spring, and then it's kind of.
Well, it's just thawed too fast.
Yeah.
No, my backyard haunts my dreams.
Yeah.
How much is because of let's just call them dog burns?
It's not even dog burns. I don't even know what.
Oh, no.
How do I don't even know where to start with this. This is the worst backyard I've in my entire life. My backyard currently is the worst looking backyard that I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah. Not like Dane's old house.
No.
Bad.
Oh my God, no! That's
Okay, good.
that's I would never let something go that.
Everyone
that-
found
that-
stuff
that-
that
Mine was a
You were finding car parts in the back.
A lush
Dane had a
jungle
toilet back
landscape,
there.
He found a toilet.
overgrown because of how healthy it was. It was
No,
doing
it was
so well.
neglect.
Yeah.
So
It was too much to handle, but it was all there.
I literally my backyard looks horrible. So here's what we did. Here's what went wrong. First and foremost, my house was built on.
It's a very weird drainage platform.
No, it's not a weird drainage platform. It was laziness. They should, when you build a house, level the whole effing area. Level it. Everything in the neighborhood. Build something on flat ground only. Don't even attempt to have any type of gradation or whatever it is. Level it. Get a freaking giant, whatever the hell
And so
does
the proper
it.
way is the house should always be at least a grade above the normal grade,
Yeah.
just so that all water runs away
You don't want to have
from it.
a flood
Okay,
situation.
sure. Have it be a slight
It's only a
grade
few.
above
It's a
it.
few inches.
This is
few
why he's
inches.
not a contractor.
Whatever it may be, right? Not my house having essentially a 6-foot grade coming off the back.
You do in the
right?
back. Mhm.
What it does is it can't do anything back there.
It pools.
It pulls down to the bottom, right? But now the good news is that I have no crawl space flooding, right? Which is amazing, and no water in my crawl space.
Yeah.
But what this ended up doing is, in my backyard, I already had an issue with drainage, and I already had an issue with a bunch of other things.
You were getting soggy spots.
So we built a shed. We said, let's level this area. Let's build a shed
Put
here.
some rock
that
down.
actually reduces that.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Yep.
What that has done, the shed now has provided so much shade to that one side of the yard,
So
right?
the other part is now soggy.
Now that side of the yard never gets sun. So what happens is the dogs pee, they poop, they do everything that they need to do, right?
Burns.
Now the soil quality is so
Poor.
bad. It's so poor, just because we live in Idaho first and foremost, but the soil quality is still so poor that there's not good enough drainage. So anything that does happen, right, does not drain through the ground properly.
No.
So what does that cause? That causes mold on the grass, right?
Right.
Algae, things like that, right? So my lawn on one side of my house is pee, poop, mold, and algae.
Delightful.
The smell
Supposed to be grass.
The smell is horrible. It should be grass, right? It should be grass, right? But I can't fix
There's
it
no way to
because
drain
what
it, yeah.
happens is I will go.
It needs to be rocked.
This is the laughable part of the whole thing. I will go to grab my pooper scooper to go pick up the poop, right? I'll peel up a 1x1 chunk of grass.
Whoops.
It just falls off. It's
Yeah.
like a guy losing his hair.
Yeah.
And it's just my grass, and I go
Breaking off.
So there's that, and then what's underneath it? More algae, more like moldish looking stuff.
Yeah.
And I go, this is so disgusting, because basically, if I have grass and then the inch of topsoil they give you with the grass, right? It doesn't go anywhere below that. Like it does not penetrate the ground, right?
Yeah.
So everything just sits there, pools, and basically creates bacteria, which is hilarious because we had landscapers come out and relay all this literally this time last year, like a month into last year. And I thought it was like, okay, so you guys know what you're doing. You guys are just going to kind of rough everything up and redo everything, right? I suppose they did, but it's just not good enough, right? Keep in mind, it was like, I don't know how many months ago, I was in the backyard digging something up. I pulled out a rock that was this big out of my backyard.
Yeah.
Just it was in my ground. And I go, how? How is this just such crap?
Yeah, you should have had 2 feet of
soil,
topsoil at
Right?
least.
No.
During the construction process,
proper way.
it probably got moved in there from a neighboring lot or something as part of just like a scoop it up, throw it in there, make
Well,
it
because I think I'm the almost last house on my,
you're
my
the last
row,
house
so they
built,
probably
so
just pushed
you got
everything.
the
It was a garbage pile.
leftovers.
They probably pushed garbage into my backyard. So, anyways,
probably find all kinds of stuff
So
if you
I
dig.
spent a good hour.
Get a magnet.
Yeah, do a little magnet fishing in the backyard.
You get the was the radar? The
The metal detector. And you
detector
just
back there.
beep, beep, beep,
So I
beep,
spent
over
an
the
hour
backyard.
just in my backyard with like my hands on my hips, just like looking,
staring.
just
and
staring
hating
like
it.
Figured out.
like, man, we really need to figure this out. So what we've come to the conclusion of is that we are going to this is what sucks, dude. I feel bad. We have 2 dogs that love being in the grass, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're the reason why we have such a bad yard.
Yeah.
It sucks. I want them to have a good yard. I want them to have a good lawn.
They don't
right?
deserve it though because they don't take care of it.
Imagine if dogs could double as gardeners. Boy, problem solved.
I don't know how other people do it because I've been to
Dane's dog takes good care of her grass.
well, I've been to other people's houses and I've
It's
looked
very
at their
long and
lawn,
luscious and gross.
and I look at their lawn. And I go, dude,
Without
how,
issue.
you have like 4 dogs. How are they all doing it? Oh, I don't know. It just doesn't doesn't do anything. I'm like, are you
They have a
feeding
hearty
them?
fescue.
I'm like,
why.
are you feeding them anything different? Are you giving them? Are you putting the treating their water?
Yeah.
No, it's just their quality of soil is just better, whatever it may be. So we've now come to the
roots.
conclusion that we are ripping all that lawn out, and we are going to build essentially a hardscape right? And
You're gonna xeriscape it?
Build a fire pit and build whatever, things like that. And then we're going to have a very small area of lawn on the other side, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
AstroTurf.
You still have to
all
spray.
Becomes more tempting every day.
So
It's hot.
AstroTurf is also great, right? It all comes down to my drainage of my soil
Yeah,
and all of
'cause it
that.
still
right?
have all that water.
Everything has to literally be redone if it's going to be done right. But my worry, it's going to cost thousands and thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of dollars, and we don't have the time to go out there and do that. And I also, for what it's worth, we spent thousands of dollars last year, right, for it to only look like absolute crap.
Yeah.
And so I don't like going into my backyard anymore. It sucks.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good point, Alex.
Yeah, Alex, great point, Alex.
Yeah, I will I would train them to use the bathroom in the house. But it's not just them. It's other things, right? It's
But you've
the
got
moisture.
shade and
It's the
moisture.
shade.
Yeah,
It's
you're fighting that.
It's so many other things that I'm fighting that I just can't freaking win. So I'm just like, screw it, dude. So we're gonna figure that out here soon. Back to the question though: is there any other plants for my garage? So right now, I need to get my quick jacks installed onto my wall, get my hangers and hang them up and do that. But I have been looking at my garage a lot, thinking of how I want to put some more like what are the Husky wall cabinets?
Yeah.
Not the big tall ones, but just the shorter, the ones you just drill up on the wall.
Yeah.
I want to get some of those and do like 4 or 5 of them to add more storage up top. And I wanted to I was thinking about this because this would be super cool. It would make a lot of sense. But the reviews are absolutely horrible. So Husky it's a wall-mounted table, right? So it's a foldable table.
Yep.
So it's
I love those things. I
do you know
think
what I'm
they're
talking
great.
about? Like the butcher board that it rolls out and then gives you a table space.
Yeah, it pops out.
I was thinking like,
Why are
wow,
the reviews so bad?
I don't know. The reviews are horrible.
But what do they say? In
They
the
say
reviews?
that the materials are janky, that it's it's unleveled. It doesn't the articulating
I think a lot of it is
system.
people just don't know how to install that.
Yeah, what I'm
potentially.
hearing is these are all fixable things.
But
But you're
what I
right.
was thinking is like if I had those on one side of my garage, and let's just say I was working on a car in the middle, I can open all of that. I have so much space over there.
Yeah.
It'd be incredible. It'd be
My problem is I
amazing.
stuff stuff on top of surfaces.
Yeah.
So like I look at that and I go, well, that'd be nice because I could put that down.
Look
And then
at
in
all
my
that
head
free
I go,
space.
Yeah.
when would I ever put those back down?
Well, I would have to
Right?
create space for my wife to park,
Yeah.
right? So it would be like a cool little system I would have.
Yeah.
I've thought about that. Don't know how that's going to go, but I do want to get some more cabinetry and put that up in there. I think I want to make some more upgrades there. I want to fix my pressure washer stuff. I want to get a hose reel. This is my other big complaint. Pressure washer hose reels, right? Whatever it is. They all have bad reviews. Apparently, they all leak.
Oh, they all leak,
No
yeah.
matter how much you freaking spend, if you spend $100, it's going to leak. If you spend $200, it's going to leak. If you spend $300, it's probably still going to leak, and you have to be okay with it. There is no perfect system for a pressure washer. I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
There's not a perfect system, and I've been looking into that.
More
and,
Teflon tape.
And even the cheapest stuff is like $100, and I go, that's $100, dude. With the hose itself, that's another $50, $70. It's $200
Yeah.
just to have a decent hose system.
Yeah.
But I need something that's better than me coiling up the crappy cable and throwing it in the corner and being like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it looks bad and I'm leaking water all over that corner all the time. And I think it's like rusting things over there. So I don't want to do that either. So I got to figure that out. That's going to be upcoming for the garage. So then on Sunday, I ended up spending a little bit of time in my office working on some stuff. And then eventually halfway through the day, I went over to the rental house to go work on some stuff. And long story short there, my parents took my daughter and they watched her for the day. But long story short there, my wife's made a ton of progress. She's doing a really good job. We have people moving in here in like just a couple days, but they're only going to be there for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's an old couple that's moving in for 6 months because renting a house in February is very tough.
Yeah.
Because most people don't want to move in the wintertime. They want to move in the summer or spring. So what we thought is we get people in there for 6 months. That gets us into essentially August, September area. And then we can re-rent and hopefully find other people in there for another couple of years. But we haven't had any bad luck with that house. Everything's been great there. We really have no issues. It's usually been pretty hands-off. But part of me always thinks to myself, what if we would have sold that house at the peak? and I could have used that money to buy 10 Honda Civics.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Kirby's going to help you out.
Imagine that? How great that'd be?
Yeah.
Your
Well,
wife,
gonna
you
help
probably
you.
wouldn't be married anymore.
Yes.
But you'd have 10 Honda Civics.
Kirby, please send me a solution for my hose reel. I would like it to be very affordable, and I would like it to be an all-inclusive thing to where it's literally plug and play, because this frustrates me because I wish I was better at this stuff.
Yeah.
I wish I cared more about fittings. I wish I cared more about this setup of all that. I don't.
Yeah.
And people like Matt, who are really good at it over at Obsessed Garage, and his team are really good at it. But when I was just there in person telling my frustrations, and they go, okay, so you're going to need this 1/4-inch adapter that goes into this.
Right, they know all that
And then they
stuff.
go to this.
Yeah, incredibly
And
specific.
it's like me, like that meme of that woman with all like the math equations. And I go I'm like, huh? Like, I don't,
Yeah.
this.
You are particular in your process when you're working on something, but when it comes to like the individual parts that make up the thing that you're using, you're less
So
drawn
one of my
to
goals this year,
picking that out.
something I'm actually going to do tonight or today, is contact the city to have a dumpster installed in front of my house,
Install.
so that I can start throwing stuff away. Well, you get them dropped off,
Yeah.
and they'll drop them off for however long. You rent them for like the month,
Yeah, I've done it.
and then you just
It's
load
nice
them up.
because you just go out there and you chuck and you chuck and
Yep.
you chuck,
That's my goal.
and you will always be shocked at just how much you can fill.
Yeah, so that's my goal first, is because I want to get through my garage. Last night I was working in it with Matt. The two of us were in there, and I was embarrassed because my garage is a mess,
Yeah.
an absolute mess.
Yeah.
And Matt was laughing, and he goes, "Dude, Mike, you should see my garage. It's a mess too." And I go, "You don't have anything in your garage." And he goes, "I know, and it's like fully packed on one side with camping gear." And he goes, "I don't have shelving; it's just all on the ground." So I think a lot of us
You
always
have
feel.
a shed.
So that's the other thing. I haven't fully
Have a
finished
shed.
my shed.
You need
I
to
need to
finish
do it.
that.
But my shed's so tiny.
It's all right. It's tiny but mighty, and you can just dig down into the earth, and you could build your bunker.
No, it's got concrete. I can't.
Yeah, you could do
But
that.
but that's what I want. I want to get the rest of that. Like, I want to get stuff moved, continue to transition stuff. I was noticing, like, I have so many closets in my house that aren't being utilized properly.
Okay.
There's a lot of dead air. Just
Do
being
you
put.
are you like me? Do you take the doors off so you can fit more stuff in them?
Doors off of what?
The closets.
No.
Sometimes I'll do that just to get extra space.
No, so here's
if
the
it's in
problem.
an area people don't traffic.
Like, I've got a huge closet upstairs that I could fill all my totes that are in my storage unit downstairs in the garage.
Wow.
Could all go upstairs. You know what's up there? 2 twin mattresses
Eh,
and some suitcases. That's all it's
Are
in
those
that.
ever going to be used?
Well, that's what we don't know. Carly and I are looking at it going, we've got like 5 twin beds in this house. It's a 5-bedroom home.
Yeah.
But Hadley and Augie are in their twins. That's it.
Yeah.
Carly and I have our bed, and then we have a queen bed upstairs and 2 bunk beds.
So maybe send those
But then we
mattresses
have
packing,
all
keep
these
an air
mattresses.
mattress just in
Yeah, we
case
have
for
all
guests.
these. Well, we've got like 3 air mattresses.
Well,
So
then you're fine.
point is, we've got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I need to go through all of it. I
Garage
need to
sale,
dump
baby.
stuff.
I'm ready for another garage sale. My wife's probably listening to this podcast right now as she's working on our house right now. I'm ready for another garage sale. I think because she was worried that we wouldn't be able to find more stuff. And I go, there's always stuff. We've got
I need
so
to do.
much stuff.
I probably need to do that just because I got to
It's
get.
fun. It's a
I
fun thing.
want to toss first. I want to throw garbage out.
You
So
want to
here's what you need to do.
purge.
Okay, here's what you need to do. You need to get that. Okay, you have your garage sale, right? Just throw prices on everything. Whatever it sells, it sells. It doesn't. Put a bunch of free crap, free stickers on everything, right? Take it. It's free. Just take it. Anything that doesn't sell, you have Green Bean, right?
Oh, Green Bean's full right now with garbage.
Green Bean will be parked right in the yard right after the garage sale ends, an empty Green Bean. And you take everything on that table that you couldn't give away for free and or sell, and you just throw it all in there, and you go take it to the dump, right? And I know you go, oh, this is kind of a waste. I could probably sell or donate some of these things.
No.
Liberate yourself.
No, we're
You
just going to
need
throw it
to
in the dumpster.
Liberate yourself of that stuff.
All that stuff can
and-
go. It all gets mixed up anyway at the landfill.
Yeah. No, you're going to feel amazing. I feel there's no better feeling than getting rid of just crap that you've held on for years and years and years, and then you truly ask
So
yourself,
here's the thing.
what am I going to do with this?
So when we moved into this house 7 years ago, we purged so much stuff.
Yeah.
And how I still have stuff, I don't know. But I'm going through and I'm looking at it going, yeah, I need to get this trash can started just to get it.
Yeah.
Just just to get going, because I want to turn that. I want to make that room a usable room, kind of like a home office, right, for the MOSHQ. But then also doll up the garage. You know, we all can't be like Gabe.
No.
Right? But at least we can be good enough.
Good enough garage.
Well, I just think that just not general organization, just working room is one thing, and then also like my drawers, they're never going to be organized. I'm just not that. I'm just not.
Yeah,
like
I'm not that person either.
I'm not that person either. But things can be in the drawers.
Yeah.
Right. So if they're in the drawers, that's one battle right there.
Yeah.
And if I can have like a general like, all right, these two drawers are like weird electrical connectors and stuff like that. I don't know what they are, but they're there, right?
Yeah.
Then I have another drawer that's like sandpaper and like other random blocks and stuff. Cool, right? And then I have another drawer that's random, I don't know, bits or whatever it may be, and then another drawer that's chemicals. That's fine. They're not organized. I don't care what they look like in the drawers, but I know that if I'm looking for something in the electrical, area, I just go, it's these two drawers.
Right.
And if they're not,
that's how I am.
If they're not in these two drawers, then I don't have it, and that's okay.
100%.
So that's what kind of organization I'm looking for. But
All right.
so Lucas said it's a nitrogen problem. I need nitrogen in my fertilizer to make it. My grass is green as heck. It can't even be any more green. Like my front lawn still looks amazing.
Yeah.
My other side of my lawn is still very green. I've never had a problem with not having a green grass. It's literally the grass is clumping and like falling out. Like I could go up to a clump of
I
whatever
think your
grass I
grass
have,
might be stressed.
grab it and just yank it out of the ground.
Yeah.
And you'd go, oh
This
my
year
God.
I want to plant some God trees. I'm going to put some maybe some ashes, maybe some aspens.
Okay.
I want to get some trees in the front yard.
Yeah. Like I would be Lucas if my grass was just burned, but yellow, it could be like I could have yellow grass. I don't even freaking care as long as grass is there.
Yeah.
The fact is, the matter is that
Are you thatching your lawn?
I have not thatched it yet. I need to this year. My front yard. I'm probably going to do one of the.
It helps keep it. Helps push it down.
What's the thing I'm going to do?
You're going to aerate it.
I'm going to aerate the front lawn, which doesn't need it because that lawn's great. But because aerating only goes down.
Yeah.
It's what 2 inches?
Barely
2 inches, right? It's a plug, right? You're plugging everything. You're deplugging everything. It's not deep enough in my ground, whatever the hard soil, whatever the heck you want to call it, is so hard and so rocky. There's so many freaking rocks in it. That there's no. It's. I don't know what it's gonna really do.
It's because he's living on the garbage lot.
It's literally.
I would try and thatch the front lawn. I'd probably skip aerating this year, and I would either try to aerate the back, but I would thatch the front and start trying to thatch the back as best you can without destroying it.
I personally, I'm happy with hardscape. I don't even care about grass in my backyard, right? But my dogs love the grass,
they wanna roll
right?
around.
And they're only going to be with us for so many more
Take
years.
them across the street to your other property.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yes.
property, that grass is gone.
What?
What?
What happened? Who stole it?
So
can't
it was
just
a
leave.
cumulative group effort of everybody on my street, right?
They all let their dogs poop on it?
They
No,
all wanted
no.
to deny you
No.
your beautiful plot
Drew,
of
my neighbor
land?
across the street, God bless him, he'd been mowing that property for quite some time for
Oh.
me, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Drew.
That was nice of him.
Regardless of the gravestones
Yeah.
I put on the property, he had been mowing that for quite some time and doing an amazing job. And then last year he said, I'm done mowing it. And I said, gotcha. So do you want it to be more of a group effort? And he goes, no, we're going to do a wildflower garden. So
That's code for
We're just throwing
just
some
gonna
seeds
let
in
it.
they
again.
tilled up
do what it
everything.
does.
They tilled up everything, and then just threw a ton of seeds over there. So all it is now is a wildflower garden. But here's the unfortunate part about a wildflower garden. For 3 months of the year,
Looks
it's
awesome.
beautiful and looks like a bunch of flowers.
Rest
The
of
rest
the
of the
time
time, it looks like weeds. So
Yep.
it looks unmaintained for a period of time, but it looks beautiful for the other part of
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
That's
like
the wild
but
in
the
wildflower.
great part about it is nobody has to maintain it or do anything, which is also
Yeah.
nice. And hey, I wasn't the one cutting the grass, so I don't have no say in it. So it is what it is. But it looks good. So anyways, I hate my backyard. I want to do something about it sooner than later because we're coming up on nicer weather. And honestly, I'm worried that Matt is going to come to Idaho here in June. And there's a lot of comments he's made in our upcoming video about how
boy.
my house or my garage may look.
Yeah.
I obviously need to prove him wrong.
Yeah.
So if he does somehow make it over to my home, right?
Yeah.
I want him to see my front yard and be like, "Dang, dude,
Rick, it's more true than you think.
Anthony wasn't lying."
Yeah.
See my garage, be like, "Oh, Anthony wasn't lying." I just don't want him to walk to my backyard because he might walk to my backyard and be like, "What is this?"
What is this
He'd tell you-
janky, junky
Tell you to do better
garbage.
with your life.
And I would say, "Hey, I don't have that beautiful Florida swampland to build onto."
All
Anyways,
right.
so what's that,
This.
Levi?
This, John and Josh went down to Austin for the G-Technic Serum Summit, and we were awarded the Rag Company Distributor of the Year from our friends at G-Technic. So just wanted to show you guys this great little award we got. And
yeah.
Thanks to our friends at G-Technic for making us Distributor of the Year.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, Dane, we
Yeah.
got to wrap this bad boy up because we got meetings.
We got stuff to do. All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching, for listening. Leave your comments down below if you want to rag on us or give us some hot tips and tricks. We're looking forward to it all. And if you haven't hit like yet on this video, please do so before you go. Small thing helps us out, helps you out by helping us out. All right, that's the last I'm going to say. You guys have a great week. We'll catch up with you on Q&A Thursday coming up on Thursday, obviously. See you then.
See ya.